Got my music. You got my music. I sent you some. I sent you some music. Damn. Welcome back. Welcome back. It's Middays with Marcus Maven. 8150 93.9 is the number. 93.9 is the station. I guess it's better you know that number now. I guess you know it's better to know the text line right now. 3831 93.9. Steve Rubberge in the building. Brian Hall in the booth.
I am in the building. I'm in the building. I went ahead and showed up today. I thought about it. Said, you know what? I might roll over, go back to bed. But I didn't. I got up. I said, you know what? Get up, get outside, go get you a run on in the morning. Went ahead, did my workout, stopped by, got my big boosted tea. I was like, okay, let's get my mind right today. Get ready to go in here and face.
I won't lie, Steve. I did sit in the garage and I took a moment to literally do my last second before I go into the studio. Let me just listen to a little music.
Okay. It's fair. It's fair.
That's literally what I was doing. Just skip up to 153, Brian. Because I want you to feel where it hit me, Steve.
Okay. Fair enough.
Just sitting in my car, Steve. Getting ready to do a show.
It's pretty good.
Oh, Steve, just sitting in the car. Got to do a radio show. Let me get on up and do this radio show.
I know.
Okay, y'all. I got it out of my system. I got all the misery out.
I know.
The Wolves, Texas says the Wolves are coming for the jugular today. Oh.
It was it was brutal, man. Look, I'll be honest with you. Everybody had us in. We thought we were in.
Oh,
everybody. I mean, like I said, I was like, I'll never look at another bracketology game. and I am definitely I understand, and I'll just get this out of the way really quick. I understand the people who say, don't you can't give no mind to the conspiracy theory. Okay, that's cool. But if Tom Jurich was on the committee in Kentucky, it felt like they would be pissing, and they would literally be crying tears of piss if they thought that. So, like, I'm like, yeah, that doesn't bother me. I mean, oh yeah, everybody had it.
Listen, that alone, that what you just said alone, Brian. How many? Doesn't that open up room for me to at least have a little doubt? Doesn't that open up 81? So 81, we're just a little off.
Yeah. Now we'll get to the bigger picture here, which is the fact that we were on the bubble.
Right.
That's why I think people are actually angry today.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think the anger. Actually, it's a scary thing, and it's what I tried to warn a lot of people around here about. I'm like, yeah, it might be funny that Louisville misses the tournament, but you're gonna get a day or two of it. And the scary thing around here, man, is the people I'm talking to are like, whatever.
Well, see, that's not my group at all. My group is either pissed off group or can you believe the reaction of this group? Like, Okay, put it this way. I have a lot of logical basketball people.
Sure,
but
that's not the majority of the fan base.
Right.
And the majority of the fan base is, man, you're running a very thin line or a very fine line here to where people are like, you're getting some reaction now. Another bad year.
But this is emotion.
It is, and that's good to still have.
Right.
But and we're going to get into what this offseason means. But.
Okay, like when you're doing the numbers, at some point we'll be a little less emotional. We'll be a little more practical, a little bit logical. By the way, I think there is some other programming going on 680. So if you really they're not going to simulcast this show across the ESPN Louisville stations, but I think there's some other. Brian, is there another option going on right now that I should be passing
I'm trying to figure out what they're offering over there. I do know that we're doing a lot of the national coverage, with the bracket stuff being revealed. But I'll get back to you on that here in just 1 second.
Okay, if I'm not mistaken, I think there's another show going on at 680 right now. Just want to pass that along. Why didn't they simulcast us, Steve? You think people don't want to hear our informed opinions on Louisville and the fan base?
Probably not.
do they not respect our basketball opinion? Is that what's going on?
That's possible.
Oh, okay. So, digesting. Are you fan right now? Do you feel like your program?
Yeah.
Are you in fix it mode? Are you which mode are you generally in?
No, the mode I'm in right now is first off, macro, it just sucks. Like I haven't even looked at a bracket.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't looked at one bracket.
Yeah, just a gut punch of tournament.
Yeah,
fun. Yeah, is ripped out right now.
I don't know the matchups. Like usually by now I'm like, oh man, I'm kind of looking forward to that second round matchup or that, I and when I say I haven't looked at one, there's one sitting right here in front of me, Brian Layden here, and this is the first time I've even glanced at one. That's
what I was saying when I got in here. I was like, you know what? Usually by now I'd have 2 or 3 brackets, filled out, ready to go to submit to all the different bracket challenges I want to. This is the first time I've looked at it
last
since the
night.
Selection show.
The bracket show ended. I listened to about 15 minutes of Drew and Andy and Mark, and then I sat down with the family and we watched a movie. I didn't watch.
The programming is Jeff Greer and Patty Ice are on there doing a kind of Selection Monday bracket breakdown show.
Okay.
From 10 to 12 on 680
right now. Looking across the hall, walked over there and waved to Greer and came back.
Really? Huh.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. So back to what you were saying, Steve.
Yeah, and then just so it was one of those deals where I didn't watch the bracketology. Usually I'll watch that big long show. It was like, all right, well.
People, I woke up to Steve, listen, I had the groggy voice because, Selection Show is right in my nap time wheelhouse. So I wake up and Steve says, I say, what's going on? I say, what's good? He says, oh, nothing, just getting ready to listen to Mitch Barnhart explain how Louisville's not in the tournament. I said, oh, no. He said, oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
It's happening.
Oh, yeah. So now where I'm at locally is Chris Mack is now entering the most important offseason of his entire career.
I hear you.
Yeah, and it starts today at 1:30 because you're really, really, really close. You're walking a really close line to losing a lot of people.
What has expedited his the disappointment the most? Is it the combination of last year, not having positive energy going into the tournament because you lost that Florida State game late? Where did his momentum take the biggest hit, do you think?
Well, I will say this. I think he's fighting against you would have to admit he's fighting against something also that he didn't but now you knew it when you took the job. Right. But you're also fighting up against what people are already feeling. Mm-hmm. And what people are already feeling is we haven't done anything since 2015 that's been worth.
Yeah, our last coach came from a professional team to NBA team to here.
And from 2015 until now, not really experienced anything fun
Right. So
postseason.
So it feels like the David Paget years on him.
Yep.
It feels like Coach Pitino's Michigan second round exits on him. The tournament self, self-imposes kind of on him. It just feels like he's wearing a lot of heavy stuff. Even when it's not fair, the energy's still going to be pointed.
And then you're now also holding for what we're worried about the possibility of is to come, which is you don't know what the next couple years hold.
Right. And if you have to take that hit last night, then it makes it more realer again. Like we can be treated a little differently outside the box than we expect.
Sure.
Again, if 81 out of 91 had you in the tournament, that's like going to sanctions and saying, okay, we self-imposed, we did this, we did that, we took away scholarship, we did all this good stuff, and we got a crazy hammer. So we've seen this happen before to us as an outlier. So then there's a little bit of that heaviness. And here's the thing, Steve.
Yeah.
While everything you're saying is to me is minuscule, which is listen, everything you're saying is correct. He's wearing all these baggage, all these bags are in his left hand. You know how the meme about guys who won't make 2 trips, they'll literally cut off circulation in their arm before they make a second trip. Like he has one of those cut off circulation hands holding all these bags, right?
Yeah.
And all those bags in the left hand aren't the main bag.
Mm-hmm.
The main bag, Steve, the main bag that makes all of this stuff look so bad.
Yeah.
Is we don't have guys dunking a basketball.
Yeah.
We don't have guys dunking a basketball.
Go a step further, man. Let me add to that bag, because I called you and I said the reason why the sting of not making it necessarily isn't what's there. It's the macro of it is, I said, Maven, I watched a lot of ball this weekend. And I did. I really did. I watched a lot of ball. And I said, I way too many times felt myself going, couldn't beat those teams. No chance. Oh, man, that's great. I don't have one dude who can make that play. Yeah, and it was a lot.
Right.
A lot this weekend that I was watching conference back. Because even before, Louisville may get knocked out by Ricky P, or somebody might get knocked out by Duke early or somebody. But still, I would watch other teams and I was like, oh, that's a good play. Donovan Mitchell can do that. You know what I mean? Like those guys can do that. If
we play a good game, we can beat that.
Yeah. It's like, and I watched teams this weekend.
Like we would have to play literally the game of our lives to be in that.
Me and my son sat there and watched the whole second half of Illinois and Ohio State. And he had never saw up until this point Illinois or Ohio State, and just watching that game,
even the level of intensity they're playing with, is kind of like, okay.
And I have to look at him and say, there's no way we could beat either one of these teams. I mean, but
I've said, I will admit, in fairness, Michigan's rolling. They come in here, I'm like, they probably gonna get us. Yeah, Michigan States and Cassius Winston's. I've seen. Look, I watched against Zion, and I've said, no, dude, we got no shot against Duke.
Yeah.
And so
with the 6'8" Jordan Wara, with the 6'11" Steve Enoch, that team didn't look like this team.
Right.
And this is his team.
Right.
That's
without Malik. Without Malik, but
still, right. Fair enough. But it's like, that team though, we didn't feel like last year. I mean, look, Drew said it this morning. We were 8th in the net last year. You didn't feel helpless with that team last year, though. It's like, okay, now this is your first team, and I'm like, looks like Runts. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, compared to some of these other teams.
And Runts, just as far as intense, like, we're still like height-wise, we got height.
Sure.
Yeah, but it seems like just we play so much smaller.
Well, and I said Runts
does that make sense?
For a reason, because I said it's almost like you look like you don't. Your size is there, but I don't.
Yeah. Like when I see a jump ball, I'm like, okay, we match up. We match up well in size, right? But when I see their guys, ripping the ball out of our hands and big man stuff, and I'm like, go get Gabe. Like go get a body. Go get a bigger dude out there. Like,
I know.
Just on attitude alone, like there has to be some some imposing, like
Yeah,
David, when David's playing good, he looks imposing.
sure.
He looks like
I agree with that.
they don't have an answer for him. Nobody else has ever looked imposing out there. Again, Carlik, take him out of this conversation. You know what I'm saying? Because he's a 6'1" point guard is not in charge of your, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
He's out there, he's biting at the basketball. He's doing a great job on putting pressure on his opponent, all that good stuff. And when you talk about imposing, our style is not imposing. It's a numbers game. You know, it's a contest, but don't foul numbers game. Between the dunking and the lack of blocking shots, like even Honest got on runs where he was not, where he was blocking 5 shots in a possession. So the lack of athleticism to me is the bag in the other hand.
Yeah,
that makes everything so much more.
I totally agree.
Yeah, like
I totally agree.
So and again, I do understand the numbers game, but I've watched Virginia block the shots. I've watched Diakite go be an athlete. You know what I'm saying? I've watched Jay Huff. I watched alley-oop plays. You know what I'm saying? Just functional. You remember how I complained so much about the full court press, and if you're not dunking, if somebody full court presses you and you can't throw, two diagonal passes and cuts and go end up with a dunk, like you got a problem.
Yeah,
like you can't.
I know.
Yeah, you can't play against pressing teams.
No,
and just figure it out.
No,
like there has to be a boom, boom, and it's funny. Like I said, it's minor, but compilation makes major. You got to be able to throw a simple alley-oop.
No, I agree, and I know we'll get to the phone lines, but it's why I said, man, it's the most important offseason. He's gonna have to overhaul the roster, man. I mean, it's just it's true.
Lawrence, thanks for joining us on 93.9. Fire away.
What's up, Marcus? What's up, Steve?
Feeling good.
I'm just gonna say I still believe in Chris Mack, and I'm still behind him 100%. But today he got to really win that press conference and explain what's going on and telling us that the truth is really bright. Because if he don't win that press conference today, if he don't give real answers, then I think this program's in trouble.
Are you talking about the press conference? I appreciate the call. Was he saying press conference today?
Yeah. Saying that, and I mean, I agree.
Press conference for Mike.
Yeah, and I agree to an extent. I mean, it does start. The offseason starts today with that press conference. I mean, like, okay, let me see how you react, because I hope you're angry. I hope you. I mean, I was the one. I did the post game after the Duke game, and I said, to me, his answer about the tournament, I just was kind of like, well, I'm not in the room, so
it was uninspiring.
Yeah. Like, I get what he's saying. I mean, to an extent,
no. Listen, I was talking about this last night. Okay, people say, why didn't Coach Mack, speak last night? I'm like, first of all, what is he going to say that is not going to be just totally dissected, by today, right? I didn't feel like he could given a proper response other than, okay, what are you going to do to avoid this? Get better.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to hear that. What they want to hear you say, yeah, I'm going to probably cut, 4 guys or tell them they're not this level of player.
Truthfully, that I mean, is the only thing I think that would really, really appease. If he was like, yeah, I've got 4 guys that just can't play at this level, so I'm going to get rid of them and we're going to go to the transfer market. We're going to load up next year. I think then fans would honestly be like, and I mean, I get it. I think like, that's the only thing that makes people go,
yeah, because
let's go.
You want to know that he knows.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You want to know that he knows. I think that's why a lot of times it's a little easier, Steve, for me. Okay, fan base anger is on a 9, right? Mm-hmm. My anger can be at a 4 or 5, right? The reason it's at a 4 or 5 is because, okay, I see this is a problem, like a screen and roll, a proper reverse pivot is important. I saw 3 times last game that we didn't do the proper reverse pivot, right?
Yeah. Today,
I only saw 1. I seen emphasis on guys screening and reverse pivoting, right?
Right.
So when I'm watching the basketball, this team, I say, okay, I know he knows because he fixed that. but he didn't fix it. He got better at it, right? But when they screw it up, you know what I'm saying? I understand, like, okay, now I got to say, okay, is your intent, are you not punishing them enough? Are you not driving the point home? Are you giving them too much freedom to get it right sometimes? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this is a critique, you know? I'm like, coach, this can't be a 3-game improvement, you know, over the course of 3 games. I understand coach likes to get his guys in shape through playing and through game time action and stuff like that. But I'm like, no, like there has to be a different level of urgency. You know what I'm saying? And again, I know the balance of health of my guys versus wearing them down psychologically. I know all that stuff. I watch coaches get ready for big games and take a day off. And I watch the fan base react like, oh my God, are you taking a day off 2 days before Kentucky?
Mm-hmm.
And I've watched Coach Crum say, yes, they need to clear their heads.
Mm-hmm.
And I've watched them get blitzed for it, you know?
But he did pretty well against Kentucky.
Right.
Yeah.
But you understand what I'm saying? I'm just saying, knowing your team and just like, okay, they're getting better at this, but they need time off. Okay, they had a terrible game here. Sometimes you need 2 days off. It's not appeasing to a fan base. You know, what are you going to do to fix this problem? I'm going to give them a couple of days off. What? You know, now we got social media. Now we got instant. Everybody's a critic. Everybody's a super critic. And the only way that you even get on the only way you get on certain stations is if you're like the super critic. That's what gets you up the ladder, right?
Sure.
But I'm like, okay, that's not a fix. Sometimes it is, sometimes not.
Fair.
Who I got at the bottom?
Scott,
thanks for joining us on 93.9. What's on your mind?
Yeah, hey, a couple things. Hey, I think our fan base is a lot better than conspiracy theory.
Mm-hmm.
We sound like Kentucky when we say that.
I don't agree, but okay.
We played our way into the NCAA tournament. We could have played in. The kids didn't hustle. They didn't play hard. And, you know, it's just listening to you, and it's just like I said the other day when I called in. There's no excitement on the court. The game isn't exciting. It's not like you can't compare it to any Chris Mack. That's like comparing the worst coach to the best coach. I mean, watching when you guys played, just like you said a minute ago. You got a wide open on fast break. The start of your show tells it. Marcus Hops dunks. When's the last time you seen anybody on Louisville's team come down on a wide open break and just tear the rim off, and everybody's giving each other high fives and Vince is jumping up and down? There's no excitement about the ball. There's no excitement about the game. And I agree with what Steve said. I think, you know, I'm not saying he's on his way out, but he's going to have to do some serious stuff. He needs to, you know, it's just bad. I can't hardly watch that kind of Louisville basketball, but you can tell me what you think. And like I say, always, you guys are great.
Listen, I appreciate the call. Like I said, here's the thing. I said this. I should have prefaced this show with this statement when talking about the on-court product. Again, you've been a part of a game, Steve. Your kid's been a part of a game. You've been a part of a game where a coach, or I'm sorry, where a official, and this is to your point, Scott, where official blows a call. Yeah. Late game, blew the call. This call, the bad call that he stepped out of bounds, no call, and you were looking right at it, and we lose the game, right? Yes, every single time that happens, I can say the ref blew that call and cost us the game. But on the other hand, I can say, yeah, those 3 turnovers out of my point guard at the 6-minute mark that stopped the run cost us the game.
Absolutely.
So both can be right. I can say if 81 out of 91 had us in the tournament and we got an unprecedented, you know, like I would be fascinated to see how many times that's happened, you know, like a team that was on 90%. Go ahead.
Well, no, you're right. I think that's the difference is, and I think I heard Drew say it this morning where somebody called in and said it, but I don't think that the anger today from Louisville fans is necessarily coming from, because I think they're 2 completely different arguments.
You're right. Two different conversations.
I think the fact you feel like, man, we might have got, you know,
got a little extra,
keep them out.
Yeah.
Is a different argument from why are we even on the bubble?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Why does my point guard have 3 turnovers?
And I think more, And I think more people are pissed about why are we on the bubble than really pissed about
that referee call at the end of the game.
Because, I mean, truthfully, here's what sucks. and this isn't really the space me and you live in.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that. People that listen to the show understand this. But the reality is, I don't think you really thought you were going to win a game, even if you got in.
Right.
But again, when you lose 6 seniors at the beginning of the year and you come out playing a little better, it was okay. Here's the thing. I talked about this yesterday, Steve. There's raising of hopes, right? Of what's the ceiling. But I think instead of people raising the ceiling, we raised the floor. So the floor was, okay, you should be no lower than an 8 seed this year.
Yeah.
Right. So once you raise the floor, like again, going into the year, you're like, is this a tournament team?
Well, because I don't take back what I said early in the season, man. We fell in love with this team.
Mm-hmm.
They played their butt off, dude. I mean, it was like, we were on here and I remember me and you talking. That wasn't for a show. We were talking off the air. We were going, man, look, we're going to fall in love with this team. This is going to be one of our favorite teams of all time because they play so stinking hard.
Like, yeah, right. No matter
what, found ways to win.
Yep.
Seton Hall, they just found ways to win. They just kept going. They were 9-1. You were going, okay.
You saw JJ Traynor come off the bench with limited minutes and hit big time gutsy shots.
Yeah, they come up. They beat that Virginia Tech team that everybody's saying, oh, they'll probably get killed by Virginia Tech. Well, no, they didn't. They won, and then it was like, and I understand the pauses and stuff. And listen, and I could sit here today and maybe I could do this. I think if they hadn't had any pauses, like if they had been one of the teams that didn't get COVID all year, I mean,
but even with that,
they're in.
Well, you had to be you had to be screwing up, and that's why you got the like at the end of the day, you can blame anything on say, well, that's your fault too.
Sure,
you got COVID, and
but I still think even if they were in, I think your analogy is going to be the one for this show at least, because we do a lot more of the on the court stuff as opposed to the the other stuff. So it's all going to go back to your thing. Even if they were in, I still think the analogy you gave, that bag is still the problem. The fact that I don't feel like I have the athletes out there. I don't feel like I'm watching other teams and okay, say Louisville played all year. I think if they had played all year, I think they would have been a 5-6 seed and clearly in, but I still deep down, we would have felt, I would have watched basketball this weekend and I would have went, God, we couldn't beat Illinois. We couldn't beat, I watched, and Marcus, you know me. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, but like, me, dude, I piss on SEC basketball all the time. And I'm like, I'm watching this, and now I don't the athletes. I do think that the SEC, even in basketball, you still get the Deep South athletes that sometimes are the best athletes in the country. But I watched Tennessee this weekend. I watched all of Tennessee's games. Tennessee's playing in Alabama, but
you were supposed to have Jay Scrub.
Fair enough.
You were supposed to have the most athletic wing and Malik Williams this year.
Fair enough.
And David Johnson.
Jay would have looked that way. Okay, I'll give you that. But here's the thing, man. I'm watching those teams, and I watched the SEC tournament, and I was like, I don't have guys like, I watched Tennessee, Alabama from tip to buzzer, and was like, my guys can play it here. And even if I was a 5 seed, that wouldn't have changed that.
And here's the other problem, Steve. This is my basketball eyes problem. You've never watched JJ Traynor. Okay, I showed you one time a video of JJ Traynor dunking over Boo Brewer in high school. People, there's a video of JJ Traynor. Literally, his hand is up at the top, is like at the square, like that level height.
Oh yeah,
his arm.
He's a freak, man.
His arm is 2.5 feet over the rim, right? And he's joking around in the gym. And then I say, okay, coach, we got to get something out of that. We have to get something out of that level athleticism. You saw Jalen Withers win the dunk contest. Coach, I don't know if you need to send him to sports psychology, but at this point, you had him sitting out a year and playing into the season, and his athleticism showed 7 to 10 real times this year.
Yeah. Sure. I would agree with that.
And I mean, plays.
Yeah, it plays, right. I would agree with that. And I know we got the phone lines here, and we'll get to them. But let me say this too. And and we got a lot of great sponsors I'm going to get to here in a second before we go to break after we take some of these calls. But it's just it just goes back to, man, I mean, when I say I can't look at my team as a fan and not feel like I can compete with other teams.
Mhm.
And that's where he's moving into what I say is the biggest. And again, this is what I wanted to say. I knew I would get myself back there if I went there. You could kind of cut this up and laugh at it if you want to, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, maybe the pressure that will come with missing the tournament is what's needed. Is a necessary evil.
Yes.
Because I will say, you make the tournament, you win a game. We had the conversation in the back. You do feel a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe, now don't get me wrong, I'm not doing the thing where I'm like, oh, what's better we missed? Like, no, but I'm saying the pressure that's going to come now
brings urgency. Yeah.
I'm not going to just now when we go into this offseason, I need some more guys. I'm not if it's down to Louisville and the Southern and they're missing on 3 or 4 guys, I'm no longer just going to go, well, all right, he'll get somebody. It's like, no, you should have got that guy.
Yep.
That's the guy we needed. Like I need big time dudes in here right now to change this. So
not to mention you've gotten 2 recruiting classes that say, okay, and here's the thing, I'll spike the ball on this. It's still Louisville.
Yeah.
And I said, like, you still every kid that's played in this arena was in the Yum Center. They played on the court and they were like, this is awesome. They've done that here, Steve.
And the caller called into Diener this morning and made a great point. And it's almost like I can't even really argue the cloud anymore, because the point the caller made, it's something we all knew and just never have said out loud. But he said, with the one-time transfer rule, who cares?
Right.
I mean, yeah, we might get 3 years, but you can leave and go to another school. So it's like, there's really no excuse to not, I can't really keep from here on out. I can't keep going, well, the cloud, because it's like, at this point, the cloud ain't nothing. If they miss it,
and again, you forget how many years ago. So the kids coming out of school, they have no idea about half of the stuff. Like, like 3 years is an eternity from a sophomore to junior.
Before you take that call real quick, let me remind people that the 10 a.m. Hourly sponsor for today's Selection Monday is Lanning Paints, Louisville's only local paint manufacturer. Check out their deck stains and driveway sealers.
Brandon, thanks for holding on so long and joining us on 93.9. Fire away. Brandon, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good.
So I had a couple of points, man. Feel bad for Mac because, like you said, you can't help the injuries and the sickness. Like, Aiden's been sick and injured the whole time, so he hasn't had time to develop. You had Malik's been out 2 years. But one thing I can put on him is roster management. When I first seen him in the first game this year, it was like we're a couple of guards shorter. Like, he's had to play David and Carleek 40 minutes because he has nobody to back them up. And that's even if somebody's to get in foul trouble or get injured or anything else. And then it's like, who's there to push them in practice? We have a bunch of 3s and 4s that all pretty much do the same thing with no elite or specialized skill set. And it's like, it's almost like Petrino when he had a team full of wide receivers, that he would recruit 85 wide receivers but had no defense. And it's like, man, that's the first thing that not just the athletes that you guys talk about, but you got to have 3 to 4 ball handling guards that can bring the ball up court. And then, of course, another big. And then the other thing with Mac, my second point is where it gets frustrating for fans. They get on a high because we always start early, but then the ACC coaches have all that film. And then, on Mac, once ACC play starts and you get in the thick of that schedule. And then that's why you kind of see us falter in February and March in the thick of the ACC season. And I just kind of wanted to see what you guys thought about that.
Listen, I appreciate the call. Listen, analytically, I can argue against you and I can say, okay, for the last 3 years, you've gotten Virginia on senior night, or you've gotten Virginia as the last game. Mm-hmm. Virginia has been the best team in the conference for the last 3 years.
Sure.
You got Florida State late. Florida State has been the best, So we're already talking about 0-4 messing with Florida State and Virginia in February.
Yeah.
Like if you played them earlier in the year, like what if you played your January Virginia, your January Florida State, and you reverse the schedule. It wouldn't hold up to that February stuff. But like I said, I can go with what you're saying, and I can say, yeah, okay, but you got to beat these teams in late, and like I can do that. And when you say roster management, it's like we've seen the true point guards. Like I said, I made reference to Winston early. A lot of these teams that have a true point guard, like I said, Carleek playing 40 minutes out on light, but most guards of Carleek's level, they play 35 minutes.
Yeah.
Every game.
Yeah.
All big time point guards play 35, 30,
Absolutely.
34 to 36 minutes a game. 40 is too much. And I'm saying, and again, not too much on his body. I just think it's too much on his brain. Yeah, he can handle it, but it helps to get a timeout and watch 4 possessions from the sideline. That's 2 minutes, if that's literally 2 minutes and a timeout, to get Carleek get some breaks. I also listen, I when you say roster management too, you got to get more out of your substitution pattern.
I agree with that.
You got to get more. Yeah.
I mean, I do agree with that. Like, I think that this year it was silly in some games to not even use Gabe, to not use, and that stuff.
What's on that top one?
Tony,
thanks for joining us on 93.9. Fire away.
I love my babies. I love my babies. I love my babies.
Smoking up.
Yeah, I was
smoking another one, Tony.
Tony, you better go get my babies. You better schedule an appointment. What you do? Take your CPAP machine off?
Yeah. And they are still. I mean, that's the thing. Right. I mean, they are still, and that's the point. I mean, they played so. They played so. I know they're still babies, man.
Boy,
I mean,
boy, you better lay off those cigarettes.
Yeah, Tony. Somebody might want to check on that man.
He couldn't even do my laugh because his voice box so
he almost
dried out.
He almost dropped.
That's why he hung up. He couldn't breathe anymore.
So he almost dropped.
Frank, thanks for joining us on 93.9. Fire away.
Did you say Frank?
Yeah, Frank. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Gentlemen, let me give you a question here. Now, regardless of the state of a program that a coach inherits, I think it's fair to say that after 3 years, you're playing that coach's style of ball.
Agree.
Yeah. To me, here's the biggest indictment of Mac's years. Okay, after 3 seasons as the head coach, can you tell me what the team excels in? And here's the key word: consistently.
I appreciate the call. It's a tough question because consistently, it's hard to use that word when you have a young team. When you lose your, I think they're a better defensive team than they were last year, a much better defensive team. So I would say, keeping the penetration out of the paint is definitely what they excel at, keeping guys out of the paint.
Yeah.
So we're shocked when guys, teams don't shoot well against us. We contest, keep guys out of the paint. Our defense is I think we excel at defense. Carleek and those guys are individual, excelling at defense. And again, consistency.
Well, again, and if I'm doing any sort of, and I'm not really in the mood to today, any sort of like, okay, it's tough to do that is because, you had the 2 years, but this is a completely new team.
You're right.
I mean, there is really no comparison between the two teams of his first 2 years and this year. I mean, it was a Kentucky-esque turnover. You know what I'm saying? Where it was like, okay, this is a whole new team.
Right. So yeah, it's kind of a different conversation. I'll tell you what, we're up at 44. We got to take a quick commercial break. Middays with Marcus Maben on 93.9 The Ville.
This hour of Selection Monday on ESPN Louisville is presented by Lanning Paints, Louisville's only local paint manufacturer. Check out their deck stains and driveway sealers.
We are right in the heart of winter, and if you're not sure your heating system is ready for the final stretch of these cold months, it may be time to call who we call at the station, DFH Company. Heating and cooling has been their family business since 1935. Buy a complete train system and receive a free UV light which cleanses the airflow throughout your duct system, plus 18 months special financing. It's hard to stop a train, and it's hard to not call DFH Company today at 968-6222, or look them up online at dfhcompany.com. Visit dfhcompany.com for complete program eligibility, dates, details, and restrictions. Subject to credit approval.
These days, women know exactly the look they want with their engagement ring.
They walk in with their iPhone in hand and show us a picture and ask us every day, do you have this? Can you get this? Most of the time I have it right in my showcase.
That's Wendy Canavan at Genesis Diamonds, where they have thousands of rings, all the newest styles and hottest trends, not the stale, boring rings you see at other places.
The styles that you see in most jewelry stores are styles that you would have seen in Genesis 5 years ago.
Genesis was chosen by all the top designers to be an authorized retailer. Names like Tacori and Viraggio, Kirk Cara, Henry Dawson.
Halo, vintage, contemporary, rose gold, yellow gold, white gold, and platinum.
Handmade rings for any budget.
We have designer engagement rings starting at $895 that are beautifully made, a ring you could be proud to put on her hand.
Genesis Diamonds.
The one thing that a woman will put on every single day and wear for the rest of her life. She wants it to be the ring of her dreams.
Shelbyville Road Plaza.
I'm former Louisville basketball player Luke Hancock. When the NCAA tried to take away the Most Outstanding Player Award from the 2013 tournament, I got it back thanks to Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan is the personal injury firm that fights for the people, and their team treats clients like family. Morgan & Morgan changed my life, and if you've been injured in a car crash, at work, or in a slip and fall, they may be able to change yours. For a free consultation, dial #LAW on your cell phone. That's #529. Offices Louisville.
Brian Wiegand with Century Mortgage, a division of Bay Equity Home Loans. Century Mortgage is a community lender catering to your every need for over the last 25 years. Our commitment to personal local business drives us to deliver exceptional service to our clients and community. With locations in Kentucky and Southern Indiana, whether it's a new home, refinancing your investment, consider Century Mortgage, Kentuckiana's premier lender. Low rates and our dedication to closing under 30 days makes it a great day to visit CenturyMortgage.com. Century Mortgage, we are here to get you home.
Century Mortgage Company is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 76988. Make your life better with a new job at UPS. Join Team Louisville as a warehouse worker and be part of an industry-leading organization that believes in promoting from within. Earn $14.50 per hour plus a $300 weekly bonus for some shifts. And you might even be eligible for a program that helps you graduate college debt-free. Enjoy an active job with big-time growth opportunities at UPS. Search and apply now at upsjobs.com/Louisville. That's upsjobs.com/Louisville.
We are so proud to have brought the price relief to the people of Louisville that they deserve.
Wendy Canavan, Vice President of Genesis Diamonds, reflecting on Genesis Diamonds' first decade in Louisville.
We have shaken up the marketplace because our prices are incredibly lower.
The fact is, before Genesis, everyone here paid more.
Diamond prices were higher. It was kind of like there was a standardized pricing. Everybody charged it and the customers bought it.
But now you get access to the world's finest diamonds at true direct importer prices.
They're amazed when they see how far their dollar goes at Genesis Diamonds and the beauty and quality of our diamonds.
Is this the year you get engaged or celebrate a milestone anniversary? Get the value you deserve at Genesis.
Customers say, I've heard your radio commercials. I can honestly tell you it's true. We hear it every day. We never lose a customer over price.
Genesis Diamonds, proud to be a part of this amazing city going into our 11th year with tens of thousands of satisfied customers. Shelbyville Road Plaza.
Hey guys, it's Andy Sweeney here. When it was time to expand our offices and studios at ESPN Louisville, guys, the choice was easy. Round Construction. Find them online today, roundconstruction.com. They're family owned and have been serving the Louisville area now for 60 years. Owners Rich Banks and Bill Receiver could not have been easier to work with. Their knowledge, professionalism, and attention to detail were absolutely top-notch. Bottom line, Round Construction did everything they said they would do and more. Round Construction specializes in commercial general contracting. You've probably seen their work at 4th Street Live, as well as many healthcare facilities around the area. For their full portfolio, visit roundconstruction.com. We trusted Round Construction for our expansion, and you should too. For your next project, use Round Construction. Online at roundconstruction.com or give them a call, 581-9191.
This hour of Selection Monday on ESPN Louisville is presented by Lanning Paints, Louisville's only local paint manufacturer. Check out their deck stains and driveway sealers.
This is Drew Diener, and you're listening to 93.9 The Ville, live from the OPC Services Studio.
For live play-by-play of the NCAA tournament, including the Final Four and National Championship. First four coverage begins this Thursday at 6 o'clock, followed by first round coverage on Friday and Saturday at noon. Thursday, we'll have the first four on all ESPN Louisville stations starting at 6. Friday, first round, 12 p.m. on ESPN 680. Saturday, we'll have first round coverage on ESPN 680. At 93.9, we'll start to carry coverage from about noon to 6:20. Sunday, second round action. We'll have 12 p.m. Starting at noon on ESPN 680 and 93.9 will join after U of L baseball. The NCAA tournament on ESPN Louisville is presented by Bill Collins Ford, UPS Jobs, and fueled by Kroger. So thank y'all. We'll get some of these phone lines.
Let me get who should I hit?
Looks like DJ.
DJ, thanks for joining us on 93.9. What's on your mind?
What's up, guys? What's up? What's up? What's up, Marcus? What's up? What's up? What's up?
Could be better, could be worse.
Man, you know what? First of all, I wrote on my my Twitter that, this year is just a freaking COVID year for me anyway. And come to find out, COVID did get extended for our men's basketball program. And I don't know what this means by we're a substitute school. If somebody fall out, I'm like, we either in or out. Don't play with my emotions like that. I'm sorry. But, the thing of it is, I'm still glad for our women's basketball program. They've been holding it up for the last 4 or 5 years. They've been doing the damn thing on the court, off the court. And, they're going to be coming down here to Texas in a couple of weeks, so I'm looking forward to seeing them. As long as they're down here playing, I'll be in San Antonio camped out and ready to go with them. And I just want to say, thanks for the guys, for putting it out there this year. I know it wasn't the best, but it could have been worse. The ladies, keep doing their thing, and the whole athletic department as a whole, they're still doing big things. And I just want to give a shout out to those students, and just keep your head up. That's all I got, Marcus. Steve, Brian, y'all just keep doing it, and if I have to, I'll even send y'all play-by-plays from San Antonio. Y'all have a good one, and I'll holler at you later.
Appreciate the call. Yeah, for at least one day though, it couldn't be any worse to be on Selection Sunday and be the first one out. I don't think it could be much worse than that. For at least, like I said, for at least an hour, a couple of hours. Yeah, it was kind of emotional last night. Jason, thanks for joining us on Middays with Marcus Baby. Fire away.
I want to thank you three guys for coming in today and and talking about the tournament and whatnot. Love the show, but the worst thing about not making the tournament And it's not the fact that Moorhead's the only state or team in the state that went. It's not the fact that Rick went his first year coaching. It's the fact that we put all those Cash fans in a hole and we buried them, and now they dug their way out and they're calling in today. That gets on my nerves more than anything. Love you guys. I'm gonna hang up and listen.
Appreciate the call.
Well, now let's be clear. Now, hang on. Louisville didn't make the tournament yesterday. Doesn't mean like Kentucky didn't have one of the most piss poor seasons in local history.
Right. I actually got I just got a DM from I think Brandon. He said, like, is this the perfect way to just like avoid talking about the historical Kentucky issues?
Yeah, they were pretty bad and don't look like they'll be all that great again next year. So it's like, yeah, they got their own set of issues. But today, I do
get his point though.
Today's the day where I mean, look, it's still the rivalry, man. So it's like, yeah, look, I'd be ripping us today too. So
I would go all out on that one.
Yeah.
Okay. So next hour, which part of this conversation do you think we need to go to? Do we need to go to yearly team grades?
Oh God.
Are you not ready for yearly team grades?
I'm not ready for that yet.
Yeah, I don't think I'm ready to do this team.
We still got hope. Let's wait till Tuesday at 6.
Are we rooting for COVID now?
I was wondering who was going to be the first person to say it.
I'll be the first one. Yeah, I will celebrate when they announce they announce we got in. I really don't care. Sorry, we're in.
Only because, listen, for the first 3 hours of my evening, I disagree with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere mid-show last night, I said, you know what? If COVID put us out, why can't COVID put us in?
Yeah, that's my thing. Like
COVID literally if you felt like you were out of the tournament because of your COVID pauses and your missed games.
And I think most people do.
Right.
Like I said, I don't think it changes the overall picture that we need. For one, these guys got to grow, because they are a young team. And two, I think we do need some better athletes. I mean, like, we do need a few more imposing bodies in here. But yeah, I mean, I think the reason we're not in, is
okay. How does Coach Steve become imposing? How does Coach Steve get his players to be imposing?
Go pay transfers. I don't know.
Start playing music. I'm not going to talk to you.
Yeah,
for the rest of the day.
Okay.
We can host a show together.
Yes,
but I'm not going to talk to you.
Okay.
For the rest of the show.
That's fair.
Everything happens through these microphones or through Brian.
Yeah.
What would you do to fix this team?
I would go pay some transfers to come here. So that way we can just
Middays with Marcus Maven and Savage Steve Rubbage on 93.9 The Ville.
Top priorities. Cox's and Evergreen Liquors are Louisville's neighborhood liquor store. Visit our website, coxslouisville.com.
Kentucky is leading the way in delivering life-saving vaccines to the world, and it's all thanks to our central location, major highways, and world-class logistics industry, which also drives our economy. But it's been a long winter, and our roads are crumbling, becoming dangerous for our families and workers. We need Frankfurt to act now and pass House Bill 561 to save our roads. If they don't, it'll be... Call your state legislators at 1-800-372-7181 and tell them to pass House Bill 561. This ad paid for by the Kentucky Infrastructure Coalition.
Hey, Cards fans. Zach here from Great Flood Brewing with a friendly reminder that we have a number of carryout options for you this season. Growlers for beer, bottled cocktails to go, and delicious food, as well as a heated patio, are all on offer at our Middletown restaurant. Grab Growlers, cans, and a patio with heaters are available at our Highlands location. Please stop by. We'd love to say hello and can't wait to see you all soon. Call 502-208-0882 to reach your preferred location or follow us at Great Flood Beer, Great Flood Middletown on social media for updates. Thanks again.
Injured in a car accident? Visit SueDistractedDriver.com.
Wedding planning can be overwhelming, but getting your wedding bands doesn't have to be. Come to Shane Company and we'll make it easy. Our jewelry consultants are pros at this. They'll help you find a wedding band that'll pair perfectly with your engagement ring. With the largest selection in town, you'll have lots of beautiful options. We have hundreds of unique bands for women in white gold, yellow gold, rose gold, and platinum. Browse a range of styles like romantic infinity, elegant floral, trending contour, and sparkling channel set. For men, in addition to classic gold and platinum, we also have contemporary metals, titanium, cobalt, tantalum, and more, with options to customize your band. Drop by a store or set up a virtual or an in-store appointment with a jewelry consultant in advance. Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and shaneco.com.
An official broadcast partner of the University of Louisville, WLCL Sellersburg is 93.9 The Ville. Time now for an ESPN Louisville Sports Center update.
Good morning, I'm Brian Hull. The Sports Center update brought to you by your local personal injury law firm, Alex R. White, PLLC. Injured in a car wreck? Visit SueDistractedDriver.com. The NCAA brackets were released yesterday, and Louisville will not be dancing this year, as the Cards have been relegated to being the first alternate if a team drops out due to COVID-19. Kentucky Athletic Director Mitch Barnhart was on the selection committee and talked about why Louisville did not make it.
When we adjourned Saturday night, Louisville was their hopes were sort of in the balance a little bit. They were on that line, so to speak, of right there. Clearly, we had two teams that made deep tournament runs and eventually took AQs that were not on the under consideration board. One of them was Georgetown in the Big East. They worked their way through the tournament. And the other one was Oregon State from the Pac-12 late last night. So those two came off the board in terms of available at-larges. When that did, it knocked two teams out. And Louisville was one of those teams.
Alternate teams will be eligible to fill in for the tournament up until 6 o'clock tomorrow evening, when all COVID-19 protocols are due in to the NCAA. The only team in the NCAA tournament from the state of Kentucky is Morehead State. The Western Kentucky Hilltoppers, who lost in the Conference USA Championship game over the weekend to North Texas, got an invite to the NIT and will be a 3-seed taking on number 2 seed St. Mary's on Wednesday at 8 o'clock on ESPN2. Moving on to baseball news, over the weekend, the Louisville baseball team swept Boston College in a 3-game series, and they will be back in action tomorrow when they take on EKU. And finally, a reminder that ESPN Louisville is your exclusive home for play-by-play of the NCAA tournament, with the first 4 games beginning on Thursday at 6 o'clock on all ESPN Louisville stations. Keep it locked here. Middays with Marcus Maven is next. This is SportsCenter.
This hour of Selection Monday on ESPN Louisville is presented by Delivery.com. We bring the restaurant to you. Use promo code ORDERNOW for $10 off your next order.
This is Drew Diener, and you're listening to 93.9 The Ville, live from the OPC Services Studio.
to turn $4 into $256 if the underdog of your choosing pulls off an upset. That's code WLCL to turn $4 into $256 for a limited time, only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older, Indiana only, new customers only. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. If you got a gambling problem, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Okay.
Also, shout out to our 11 o'clock hourly sponsor, Delivery.com. We bring the restaurant to you. Use promo code ORDER NOW for $10 off your next order.
Okay, Steve. You were joking before we went to break. You were joking about paying guys to come in here. I need Coach Steve Rummage to basically take our roster right now, what we know we're going to have next year, right? How do you prepare this team going? Like, what are going to be your focal points going into the offseason with this team? Just David's gone, and Carleek's gone.
Carleek's gone. David's gone. I think I said it before. I mean, I think there'll be a couple guys also that will be gone.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there'll be a little room there to play
with. You
think
that because you think that's what coach is going to have to do?
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, is what I'm doing is first thing I'm going out next year. I'm going to have, are we saying Malik's back?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm going to have Malik. I'm going to have Roosevelt Wheeler. I'm going to have Gabe. I'm going to get another athletic big man
who likes to play around the basket.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I'm going to get another guy who is transfer. Now, remember, when we're saying transfers, we're not just saying grad transfers anymore. This is transfers.
One-time transfer rules.
Okay. So I'm going to get a guy who can come in around the basket that's athletic immediately right off the bat.
Can grab the ball and go vertical and
because
punch it.
I do believe that L. Ellis will be a different type of point guard than Chris Mack's ever had here.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying he's going to be better. I don't know. We'll see. But a different style.
His pace,
yeah. His athleticism is going to be different from what we've had before.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, again, we're living in the space where David doesn't come back, even though David felt like a ton of bricks, and not making the tournament hurts.
Right.
David.
Right.
So
I don't know. No, I don't know.
Well,
I think it hurts his reputation more than his.
Right.
Like I said, because I think you can get it. You can get into the into the camps.
Well, yeah, he's going to get the camps, but I'm saying he could have had an opportunity to elevate his name a little more before. Now he's got to do a little more in the camps, because I agree with you. He'll excel with people around him. But the first thing I'm doing is going to get a guy, because look, I love Malik back. That's great. And I actually really like Roosevelt Wheeler. I think he's going to be good, but he's going to be a freshman. But Malik, I just, if he comes back, I can't trust he's going to play a full season health at this point. I like what Gabe gives you, but Gabe's not athletic, big man, I need that. So that's the first thing I'm getting, because next year, Jalen Withers, there's no excuse. You're the 4. You got a 4 spot. You say you're playing better at the 4. There you go, buddy. Have at it. So we'll see. Or get a guy that's going to come in here, and if Malik's healthy, is going to finish around the basket strong enough that I say, Jalen, you're going to have to win the 4 spot, dude. Because JJ, I think, is going to be – I think he'll take the biggest freshman to sophomore jump of anybody on the,
Right.
I know there's only a couple, right, but you get what I'm saying. I'm kind of counting like Quinn and some of those guys as freshmen. I think that's fair, right? So that would be the first get I would say. Then I'm going for best athlete on the board.
Mm-hmm.
Best athlete on the board. Somebody said Earl Timberlake from Miami.
6'6" and up.
Something like that.
He's coming off injury though, right?
Yeah, he is. But I'm saying in that, which that's one right there. I look at Mike Pegues, and because this is where I'm also going. I'm looking at Mike Pegues, and I'm saying a guy like Earl Timberlake, that's from your neck of the woods, dude. Go get him. He's a DeMatha guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's leaving Miami. Go get him. We need a guy like that. An excellent hardcore rebounder, freak athlete, big-bodied guy. He would be a perfect guy. Now, I'm not saying you got to get him, but that's the perfect guy. The next thing I'm doing, I'm evaluating my staff, because I think 3 years in, I think it's fair to say might be worth some evaluation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that you definitely make a change right now, but I think it's worth looking at. I think if you're Chris Mack, you have to look at it.
You have to add. What do you have to add?
I would add, of course, recruiter is always going to be in there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think it's fair, right?
What's more important, the super recruiter or super player development?
Well, that's the problem. I don't love our player development.
Mm.
So, you know, it's like you almost want a Brian Hollett. Sorry. You almost Brian's like, yeah, thanks, dude. Yeah, thanks. You almost want a guy that's, I mean, either get a super recruiter or get a super developer or get somebody in my mind that would be an in-between guy like bring in a David West or bring in somebody, you know what I mean, that you feel like could I don't know why I use David West. I guess because like Coach Matt is yeah. But like bring in a guy who is like, okay, you believe he can develop
and command.
Yeah.
Command.
Like he may not be an elite either one, but he's pretty dang good at both.
IQ kept him in the league for as long as he was in the league. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I do know what you're saying.
So that would kind of be where my stuff is, and I think that would get people to go, okay. Now, if a Carlik Jones or a David comes back with a Malik, I still think you've got to go get one more.
I actually, to answer that question, to not leave you out there on an island by yourself, I think a development guy is going to be more important.
I kind of do too, and I hate to point at one guy, but I think the bigs are kind of what I'm looking at.
I need a total package player development guy. Like I need a guy that can do them both.
Sure.
Yeah, because again, if I can see it, like I said, if I was up and running around and I went in there and actually worked with him, it would be like, okay, Sam, when you make a jab and you start going baseline and you let them shove you in the air to the point where you're shooting a floater landing behind the backboard, somebody's not teaching you right. You know what I'm saying? Like when Sam goes baseline and he starts jumping and you know, you just watch him like rod Sam on out of bounds or rod, like you're too high. You can't attack somebody that high.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who is not telling him that? Or are you doing that in practice and in the game you go right back to it? But then it's like, okay, you got to bench him then.
Yeah.
And again, late Sam, 20 rebounds, Sam, all the rebounds. That's great. But just your offensive game, like I think the coaching staff has got to help these guys with their one-on-one moves because there's so much one-on-one opportunity.
What if, why wouldn't you go? And now I'm not saying like Chris Brinkley, because he is obviously a guy who's making
the best at what he does.
Yeah, he's making plenty doing what he's doing, unless he wants to coach. I don't know. But he's probably going to like to set a little higher than college basketball. But why couldn't you go throw the house at a elite guy like that?
No, you have to. Or listen, again, when we start going back over this year, and we just literally go back to the jab steps and the fundamental work. You know what I'm saying? Just the simple stuff. Like if we don't tighten up all of that in the off season, like it's you got to have hell fundamental camp.
Yeah.
Like positions to use the glass and you shoot a 7-foot floater.
Yeah.
It's like, but listen, and I feel coaches, I don't want to screw up with the kids' confidence and all that stuff, but yeah. The reason they're not getting a lot of good looks a lot of times is you're fundamentally attacking the basket wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like David's relying on some gifts, You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Carlik, he knows how to rock a guy back and get him up, keep him off of him. He knew that coming in though. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like and here's the thing, I don't want to sound too extreme one way or the other, but again, like Q should be able to get more stuff off at his size and his jab. He should be able to get fouled more.
Sure.
Sam, DeAndre, Q, Jalen, JJ. Am I missing anybody? They should be getting fouled a whole lot more.
Yeah, but all first year guys.
Q's not. Jalen's not. Yeah, you had him for 2 years.
Yeah, I know. Oh no. The point still stands. It's a young team.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Like those guys right there could be here for a while. You know.
What does that say?
Jackson.
Jackson, thanks for joining us on 93.9. Fire away.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. Hey, got a couple of things. First thing we need an offensive coordinator. That's the first thing we need for this team.
Fair enough.
I've called. You've heard me echo this all season long. There's no reason to score in the 50s. We should be scoring, live in the 80s. Sometimes you dip in the 70s. Sometimes you get up to 90s. Style of play. If you want to, you got to bring in your type of guys, and y'all played ball. Some guys, you can develop the dog in them, and some guys just have the dog in them. It's a lot easier to bring in guys who have that dog, pit bull mentality in them. And Mac thinks he can create that and build that, and some guys you can't. Some guys are just nice ball players, good ball players. You got to get some guys with some edge to them if you're going to do something. Other thing, I know y'all probably been to some practices. I'm privy to some guys, some old school guys who've been to practice. And what I've been told is Mac's the big voice in that practice. And the other coaches talk here and there. He's going to have to bring in some assistant coaches who do talk. Just like Kevin Keith was a big talker with Rick, you're going to have somebody, one or two guys on that staff who are really going to talk and really engage with the guys and really develop them. Lastly, you got to have a place like Crawford Gym. And when I was on campus, those guys who came back, who were playing overseas, playing in the pros, that's where you develop some toughness. That's where you learn some things. Bring some of these guys back, like a Peyton Siva. I know Montrez probably can't come back on campus, but hey, forget about the NCAA. Let them come back. But that's what you got to do. Bring some guys in. Like when I was on campus, Mark McSwain, some of those guys came in, and those developed those guys. Iron sharpens iron.
Listen, I appreciate the call. Actually, I think Trez is back. He can come.
It's like next year, yeah. And to his question, like with the offense, I think the player development would fix the offense,
right?
Because I think he gets guys in
opportunities, yeah.
Right. I mean, so the player development to me would fix that, because if I start to get guys in those positions who can make plays, the offense all of a sudden looks great.
What does that say? Just
Norman.
Yeah. That was a name I didn't think that actually said. Norman, thanks for joining us on 93.9. Fire away.
Marcus, how are you, buddy?
I'm good.
Enjoyed watching you play over the years.
Appreciate that.
I go back way back to Denny and before that. Hey, what I see, you want to evaluate Chris's teams. On fast break, I give a D. On secondary break, I give a D. On attacking the basket, you see, how many and ones do you see? Carly a little bit, but
probably Norman probably to your point, probably Dre Davis outside of like maybe Carleek was probably the best at that, and that and he didn't do it a ton. So yeah. To your point, I agree.
There's a couple of coaches that say it this way. There are those guys who seek, contact, and there's those guys who avoid it. We have guys who avoid contact. When they attack the basket, they're being attacked. They're being defended, so they take their eyes off the basket and they miss layups because they're not used to getting contact. I don't know if they practice that, but I think that's part of the reason why they miss layups. I think it's part of the reason why we don't have and ones. Fast breaks, my goodness. I hate watching our team on fast breaks. Marcus, you would seek an outside lane and wait for the ball to get passed to you on a fast break and take it in and get and one. We never do that anymore. It's just it's hard to watch. It really is.
Listen, Norman, I appreciate the call. Here's the problem about missing layups around the basket. This, in my opinion, and this is just what I see on the basketball court. If I was going to forensic files level, forensically break this team down, and break down the psychology, we don't finish around the basket is because we don't try to block each other's shots in practice.
Yeah.
We don't play that style. What do we play? Body up. What does the coach say? Hands up in the air, chest up, right? We play against teams that go to block that shot, right? We don't pump fake and jump into people. So if you're practicing every day and he's teaching body up, make it tough for the guy to score over you, but make him score over you without jumping. That's what you're seeing every day in practice, Steve.
Yeah.
So when you get out in the game, you know, these guys are having these stupid shot blocking numbers against us because they've been playing against other, you know, aggressive people. They know how to avoid the contact and block the shot. And fortune favors the bold when it comes to referees, when it comes to the officials. Carleek, God only knows why Carleek doesn't get his and ones though. But like
God knows.
Outside of Carleek should have got a lot more fouls.
Yeah, I agree.
Called in his favor. David, maybe, you know, but I agree with what he said, what Norman said. We're not pump faking and seeking body contact. We're not jumping into people to create contact and get the and one. So yeah, I think a big part of that is the product in practice. Because if we're doing our own style against each other, and you don't have a secondary team where you say, okay, all you guys just go block go block everything. You know what I'm saying? You never even get experience with that. And it's like you run up on Florida State. This is the first time you had a full athletic team of guys blocking shots.
You haven't saw a guy like that yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And a guy like that, you might have saw him in a game.
Yeah.
But I got 4 guys on this bench who, unless they've been in games a lot, to even see these kind of shot blockers. So you don't even have enough time to figure that out.
I was watching Colorado and USC.
I watched that.
Yeah, a little bit of that just because I knew they were 6 seed-ish, and I was like, well, we'll probably be in 11. It's a good chance we're going to play one of these two teams. And watching that game, I remember I was watching USC, and I was like, Evan Mobley would destroy us.
Just with his activity level.
Now he's a top 5 pick type guy, but it was just like they got one guy that I'm just like, I've got nothing for him. I mean, you know, and I'm not, you might beat him. I'm not saying that.
Because we can't get those guys in foul trouble.
Yeah.
That's what bothers me the most. What I need to hit first.
Looks like Alex.
Alex, thanks for joining us on 93.9. Fire away.
Hey, what's up, guys? So, I mean, we're sitting up here naming off player development people we need to hire. It sounds like Chris Mack just needs to send this footage to, it sounds like somebody needs to send this footage of you talking about player development to Chris Mack, and we need to hire Marcus Mason.
Yeah, I'd kill a program.
What'd you say? You kill the program? Oh,
yeah,
that sound like it. You love the program.
I'd pay everybody.
Sounds like you would first game.
Can you imagine Alex, Marcus Maben having that much power and being friends with me? Like, listen, dude. I would
have to stop being friends.
I'd take my wife's whole salary and just buy a team. Like just buy a team. Yeah, it'd be ridiculous.
Say, hey, coach, I got a surprise for you. Yeah, don't even worry about it, coach.
Look, just have Steve bought 2 dudes. Yeah, they're living in his house, and it's going down.
Yeah, no, it would be like my dad when I played football, and when I played like little league, they let the parents come out on the field for scrimmages, like, and he would like yell at me and at other people, like when they did the wrong thing. That would be you in practice. They would have to ask you to leave, and they'd be like, "Oh, but Marcus is my boy." That'd be you, Steve. But but everything you guys are saying is fantastic. I mean, I really the problem for me is just looking at Chris Mack's recruiting. I really thought he has done well given the circumstances that he had. And when Chris Mack comes on today at 1:30, I really think he's in the same situation as Scott Satterfield. I mean, when Scott Satterfield had to come and address the team, and then all these firings, and then now we're just watching Satterfield seeing what decisions he's going to make. And I think he's done well with hiring coaches, and sounds like we're moving up in some high recruits. We're getting up in their top 5, their top picks for us, and it's sad to say, but Chris Mack is really in that similar situation, and so I really hope that he understands.
No, I guarantee he does.
Yeah, No, just knowing him as have you guys ever read his blog post that he does on the for like coaches? Have you ever read some of that?
Yeah.
So this man knows detail. This man knows attention to detail. This man knows how to coach. It's just I just don't understand like what is missing, like what is happening between practice to game. And I guess we'll find an answer to that. Like you said, this is the biggest off season he's ever had. But thank you. I'll listen.
Listen, Alex, I appreciate the call. Again, joking but not joking. I could not imagine Jalen Withers' shoe coming off 3 times in 3 games.
Yeah.
I would literally say, and I said this last night, son, if your shoe comes off, literally, Steve, this is Coach Maven. If your shoe comes off one more time, don't put it back on.
Yeah.
Go to the locker room and put on your clothes.
Yeah.
Get out.
Yeah.
Or that's one way to handle it. Or number 2, every time Jalen lays that ball up, everybody else get on the line right now.
Yeah.
Every time he lays up a dunkable ball, because coach, that's going to come back and haunt us. Not going up strong. Actually, I throw JJ Traynor in that category too.
Mm-hmm.
I throw him right in that category, even though I think he's a little better, a little quicker at it.
Totally.
But still, you're in that category because taking up strong. Listen, I got 3 off-season rules. If you don't dunk dunkables, everybody else is on the line.
Yeah.
Give me. I'll come up with.
Yeah. Make you accountable.
Yeah. A 2. Listen. Oh no, not you, Jalen. Go over there.
Mm-hmm.
Go over there and sit. Go over there and do some sit-ups with the strength and conditioning coach. Everybody on the line.
Yeah.
That.
I may even stand mid-court.
Or that. Oh yeah. Or that.
Yeah.
That. Do the dunks.
Yeah.
If you pump fake somebody on a 3-pointer and you step to the side when you got them dead to rights, get on the line. Get on the line. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, those are the only ways you're going to
unless you're going to get all the way to the basket.
Right.
If you're going to pump fake and you're going to go all the way to the basket.
No, I'm just talking about you have them in the air and you fade away.
Yeah.
You jump into this guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Again, that's hard. I know that's hard to do, in practice, but if you're not trying to get the contact, and coach isn't doing something to reinforce that, you know what I'm saying?
By the way, they just announced that Aiden is transferring. So that's what we were referring to last week.
Right.
He's already out of town. He was on live this weekend back in New York.
Right. Yeah. It's like, out of respect for the team. I'll just wait. But yeah, like those accountability drills, it's like, dude, you're not allowed to just lay the ball up. Like, coach, you should have saw that, game 4. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, you can't play like that. You can't play avoiding. Look, I even said this last night, Steve. In these practices, Jalen, if you fall on the ground, everybody get online.
Yeah.
Get on the line. Because we're going to get in shape one way or the other and get some accountability. I don't care if we're not sitting around playing. Listen, we can play defense. We have enough guys that can put the basketball in the hoop.
Yeah.
But if you can't stay off the ground every time you jump around the basket, there's something going on with you. And we're playing 5-on-4 until you catch up.
Yeah.
Every time you fall, trying to tip a basketball in.
Yeah.
That's what, like, y'all, when you say this team defensively, like, they're literally stopping transition in a scramble until Jalen Withers gets up off the ground and runs back down the court. And he has a habit of being on the ground.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, so it's like those kind of things. It's like that can't go on for an entire season. And again, I saw improvement in all these things I complained about, but not enough to feel comfortable.
Yeah.
I saw the tempo pick up at times, so I could tell you're talking about it. But until you stop and make a couple focal points and say, this does not happen anymore.
Yeah.
This does not happen. You maybe, yeah, like I said, the alarming things is your how could you play basketball where your shoe came off 3 games in a row?
I know, man. That's rough.
And again,
we just talked about it. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, again, yeah.
Sorry, fun lines have been busy.
Yeah, you're fine. You're fine.
Okay, who should I hit?
Let me see. Kendra.
Kendra, thanks for joining us on 93.9. Fire away.
Hey, so I'm listening to you talking the whole while. I'm going, yes, Marcus, yes, you're so right. I mean, Louisville, to me, it's just too weak, too soft. You know, the layup, missing them, and, you know, you have a chance to put them back, and you 3 or 4 guys around the rim, and nobody comes up with the ball. Or, you know, it's like they would, if they did drive, they were driving to get fouled, not driving to score and the and one. It was, and then when they didn't get the foul call, like you said, somebody's got to get up off the ground or getting back down to the, you know, other end. The other team's already shot a 3. Here you go. But, you know, it was just, they just need to toughen up. They were too weak, or they, you know, people could slap the balls out of their hands easily. I was real proud of Sam, you know, when he came on, because he did show some toughness with those rebounds. You know, you could count on him going up to get, you know, the rebound. You felt comfortable, you know, that if he was in that area, he was going to get the ball, you know, but that took time for him to get there.
Right.
And then his shot came along too, you know, so they just got to toughen up. And I did have a question. I didn't know, in terms of, I hear people talking about style and personnel. So Chris Mack has his style of play. And honestly, I didn't watch him at Xavier. So, and I can't quite get a feel of what his style of play is, which may be a problem. I don't know. But so does personnel changes equate to being able to run his style of play? Or if his style of play is a style of play, it's going to be what it is, regardless of who, you know what I mean? Like, is it going to change because his personnel changes, or is he going to coach like he coaches?
Listen, I appreciate the call. 2 things. He can adapt it with his style, or he can change his style. He's going to have to, you know, so some of the stuff is player centric, personnel centric, you know, some of the stuff, you know, listen, again, I played with 2 years. We couldn't press.
Yeah.
2 years. Like I said, I went 12-20. With that team never pressed. With basically the same players the next year, we were hell, you know, with our pressure. You know what I'm saying? So I've actually, you know, the second year, okay, I got enough guys that can get it. I got enough guys that can cover this distance, I got a couple cornerbacks now.
Yeah.
So I can play pressure defense because I got cornerback. Last year, you couldn't do anything like athletically on defense. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you could, but that's another conversation I'll bring up to you at another time. But you get what I'm saying? Some of it's personnel. What was the first point she was making? She was talking about the style, because it was one other thing before the style conversation.
Being soft.
What do you do with that?
I know.
What do you do with that?
Yeah, I mean, that's the $1 million question. And that's why I say I think you need a little bit of an overhaul in this offseason.
Dana, thanks for joining us on 93.9. What's on your mind?
Hey guys, how y'all doing today?
Good.
Sounds like everything you guys are talking about, you know, style of play, development of players.
Sorry. Go ahead. Sorry about that.
Development of players, all those things go into coaching. Sounds like to me, I mean, you're talking about bringing in somebody else to do this and do that. That's why you have a head coach. And if that, when I agree with you, if that's not his expertise, then he may need to bring somebody in. But as a coach, when you know that what you're doing is not working, and you go out and seek help, you seek, you know, go to a daggone workshop, something, figure it out. And the thing that has gotten me for the past 2 years, we have no fire, no enthusiasm. Those guys, and it goes from the bench to the floor. Chris Mack sometimes is like, oh well, they screwed up again, and turn back around. I mean, nobody there's no shoes slapping on the floor. Nobody's, I could barely hear him. We had a empty arena. You didn't hear Chris Mack that often. But I don't get the whole non-tenacity thing. And he talks about we come out of a daggone COVID break, and he says we were out of shape. I know our coaches' teams wouldn't be out of shape coming out of COVID. There'd have been treadmills over at Minority. They'd have been taking them one at a time, wiping them down, doing something. I guarantee you they wouldn't have been out of shape. They may have been out of game shape, but they wouldn't have been out of shape. It's just too many excuses. I mean, every time it's, well, we're going to get better. When?
But okay. Listen, Dana, one second, Dana. Dana, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. For 2 years, you've been saying it's all the coaching. Okay, so you don't think he does anything good. It's all coaching and it's all his fault. That's how you've literally said the last 2 years straight.
He's a nice guy.
So, see that, but that's what I'm saying. You see how you lose credibility by not saying he does anything good.
Well, there are I'll say it like this. There are glimpses of him doing things well.
Like what?
But who do we hold accountable for the inconsistencies? If I got a kid who is being inconsistent, just like you just said, he's over here sitting next to me. If I'm going to lose, I'm going to lose with some kids who's going to go hard. If I'm going to lose, I'm going to play I'm going to play Q, Slazinski, other than Williamson at the beginning of the year. I mean, Williamson didn't get good until he sat his butt on that bench. He didn't get better rebounding-wise until he sat on the bench. Do them all like that. Do David Johnson like that if you have to. I mean, you couldn't because Nickelberry's hurt. Yeah, granted, we had a lot of injuries and stuff this year, but, man, sometimes it was just like you just got to go out there and just play, all out. And I didn't see that consistently during the year. And that's a problem for me because it's been that way for the past 2 years. Our inconsistency is horrible. It's bad.
Listen, appreciate the call. Like I said, you can make cases, but the sweeping indictment of it's just everything, nobody plays hard, nobody does this. That's not true. You wouldn't have as many games. Like he wouldn't have the big wins that he has if it was just like complete. Like if he was just a complete failure of a coach. You got some big wins.
Yeah. I mean, you can't just rewrite the fact. I mean, and act like he hasn't done anything. Yeah. I mean.
Who next?
Let me see. It looks like Carlos.
Carlos, thanks for joining us on 93.9. What's on your mind?
Hey guys, long time no talk to. Listen, I'm sitting here just listening to a lot of what I'm registering as a lot of complaints and justifiably so. We got spoiled in regards to the success that the program has had. However, the coach can't play the game, guys. Okay. No matter how much he does, you have to have some type of discipline, some type of testicular fortitude that want to play the game and want to play it the right way. Now, some people would say that they want to blame that on the coach. As far as from what I'm seeing, there's a lot of fundamentals. Marcus, you play the game. You know how to play defense. I see a lot of positioning in regards to whereas they've gotten beaten on, which is basically basketball one-on-one. And also in the situation, you got to have the attitude to want to win, to want to hustle, to give that effort. I don't see a lot of that. When you have a backcourt that's particularly in a situation whereas they're averaging almost as many rebounds, in fact, sometimes more than what your front court is, then you got a discipline problem with your front court in regards to not only talent, but you also got a problem with them having the desire, and the desire comes from the coach. Like some of the callers say, if you don't want to put forth the effort in order to be successful out there on the court, then you need to sit down and let somebody else play. Now, granted, we didn't have a lot of depth due to injuries in the front court. However, I do see whereas there are some improvements in regards to the style. I've seen Coach Matt coach both styles, the running gun style, also the set offense style. He's coaching with what he has. Now the big deal is, who are you going to bring in to fit the needs of your team? Because he haven't done that yet. And that's going to be the tale right now. You got a lot of grad transfer. The cat from Auburn that's transferred, cat from Kentucky. There's a couple of other people out there that could be very useful in his program. I want to see what he does, not only recruitment-wise, but bringing in people that's going to fit his style of coaching to make the team successful. I want to know what you guys think about that.
Appreciate the call.
Appreciate it, man.
I think he's doing a good job recruiting.
Yeah, but I think sometimes that gets mixed up with, is he doing a good job? And I think even it goes back to the style we want. So you almost say, yeah, he's doing a good job recruiting. I mean, that's why I said I think this next class coming in is the closest to like the style of guy you want with Mike James, with the way he plays. Yeah, the way Ellis plays and Pettiford plays. And those guys, when you watch their film, you're like, okay, this is more. But they're going to be young. And you're going to be combining them with other young guys. So that's why I say you need to hit that transfer market. And like, for instance, like Kai Tandy from Xavier just hit the transfer market. 6'2" point guard from Hopkinsville. He played at Xavier. Kid was a stud. He was Mr. Basketball. Should have got him in the first place.
I remember you saying that.
That's a guy you probably should give a call to, you know. So yeah, anyways, there's some other stuff I want to get to, but we'll keep it rolling.
Will, thanks for joining us on 93.9. What's on your mind?
All right, man. Okay, first of all, who would come and play this style? You talking about get this guy, get that guy. You know, obviously we didn't have a tournament last year, but I watched a lot more ball lately than I have in a long time, you know, with everything. And I tell you, man, the level of play has just, I mean, I watched that LSU game yesterday, the level of play, you know, comes back daggers, bam, bam. Come on, man. We have nobody even close to doing that. We would have got it blown out in the play-in game. Guys, you know, I feel like it's Groundhog Day every day. Really, with your show, would you move? So it ain't about moving. So it's
so wait a minute. So you were impressed with LSU?
Well, what do you think we would have done with it?
I asked you, were you impressed with LSU?
Course. Yes.
Yeah. LSU had a guy who got a strong ass offer from the head coach. Yeah, that was a paid for team that you're so impressed with that you're comparing us to.
Yeah. So
yeah, and you also had Carlik Jones, the ACC Player of the Year.
Like, called Drew this morning, pissing him on, and it's like, dude, go on. You're just unhappy, and nothing's gonna make you happy. So move along. Yeah.
Chris, thanks for joining us on 93.9. Fire away.
Now, why I gotta be next after Marcus raises his voice?
Right.
So here's my thing. When we had, and I'm not gonna mention coaches, you'll know who I'm talking about. We had the high-low post. We had the 2-2-1 press. We had the press where we just ran people crazy. We had the high pick. All I'm asking for Coach Mack, because I think he's the right guy. I think Indiana right now is kicking their butt that they didn't get him. He's the right guy. I just want to see what he did at Xavier. I was a big fan of his at Xavier. I just want to see. I can't remember the guy he had. He had a big guy in the middle that was just a beast that dunked everything. I need one of those.
Let me ask you this. How would you describe that previous coach's offensive style?
It was just basically a weave up front, and then we set a screen to the side. But the thing about it was, it wasn't so much his offense; it was his defense. Like when we played Virginia, everybody's saying that they did such a great job. The reason they get the calls is because they play like that every game, and referees come to the point where they're like, they're not fouling. That's how they play. They're a good team. When we had the other coach, I won't say his name because it ticks me off that he's even in the tournament. When we had him, we fouled so much that referees were like, that's just the way they play. So
listen, did the Virginia coach have that older coach's number?
Yes, he did. And our coach had an older coach's number from Syracuse. That happens. I'm not saying that. What I'm telling you is Chris Mack is the right guy. We just need to get personnel. Personnel is the most important thing that we need right now. And what you were talking about earlier, Marcus, if DJ backs someone down, gets the ball stole from him on the other side, or throws a bad pass, everybody on the line again. We just got to get it together. We're going to be fine. I want to blame this on everybody else. The guy in the rooms, we just didn't handle our business. Let's regroup. Let's get ready. We got a really good team coming in next year. Everybody get your head up.
Appreciate the call, man. We'll take our last commercial break. Middays with Marcus Maben on 93.9 The Ville.
This hour of Selection Monday on ESPN Louisville is presented by Delivery.com. We bring the restaurant to you. Use promo code ORDER NOW for $10 off your next order.
No other jeweler in Louisville guarantees your diamond purchase
like Davis Jewelers.
At Davis Jewelers, we guarantee our diamond engagement rings price and your total satisfaction with the 30-day money-back diamond guarantee.
You get a lifetime diamond upgrade at Davis Jewelers that guarantees will give you back 110% in trade. If you ever want to upgrade to a larger diamond, you just paid the difference.
And only Davis Jewelers gives you a lifetime nationwide diamond engagement ring warranty with free lifetime maintenance at any preferred jeweler, coast to coast.
So if you move to the other side of the country, we've got you covered.
No other jeweler in Louisville can do that. I'm Ashley Davis.
And I'm Hank Davis, and we really have built a better way to buy a diamond.
We're Louisville's largest fine jeweler. And love, it's what we do.
Davis Jewelers, Louisville's largest fine jeweler. From anywhere in Kentuckiana, we're at Forest Green Boulevard, just off North Hurstbourne Parkway, and at davisjewelers.com.
Hey, Card Nation, let's be honest. The real estate market in Kentucky is booming. And whether you want to buy or sell a home, now is the perfect time to do it. With interest rates at an all-time low and programs that can get you in a home for no money down. Want to learn more? It's simple. Just call Derek A. Stewart with Dream JP Pirtle. Derek is available virtually around the clock to listen, understand, and help you with all your realtor needs. So don't waste another second. Call Derek A. Stewart at 502-314-9868 today.
We always have our focus around here at ESPN Louisville, not focused with an F, but with a PH.
Focus is sparkling water with caffeine, and it's putting sugary soda on notice with its newest flavor, Cola, which was just awarded Best New Product by BevNet Magazine.
Focus Cola has all the classic taste, but none of the harmful ingredients. No sugar, no sweeteners, no guilt. It's what's missing that matters.
Haven't had it before? Try Focus Cola for just $12 when you use code NEWCOLA at www.drinkfocus.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Now that sports have officially kicked off, there's only 4 things missing from your playbook. 4 pegs. Looking for great smoked wings? 4 pegs. Looking for juicy barbecue and award-winning chili? 4 pegs. If you're just looking for some cold crab, tap, can, or bottled beer? 4 pegs. And the best part about 4 pegs is it's right around the corner at 1053 Goss Avenue in Germantown. So you better get over there fast because the word is spreading. And while you're over there, be sure to ask about their food truck and other catering services.
Love getting prices that are lower than low on food that's fresher than fresh? Then shop at Kroger. We give you more ways to save on the fresh you love with tools like the Kroger app, where you can find personalized coupons on top of weekly sales, giving you prices that are lower than the everyday low. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
And now you'll find more ways to save on your favorites. When you download digital coupons, you can use up to 5 times in one transaction. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Hey everyone, I'm Brandon Lang. When Matthew McConaughey plays you in a movie, as he did me in 2005's 2 for the Money, you have to maintain a certain image. That's hard to do when you're going bald. I needed to do something, and it needed to be done fast. Parsley Waldman's Hair Center came to the rescue. Louisville and the Midwest Premier Hair Treatment Center not only gave me my hair back, but my self-confidence as well. Go to hairsurgery.com and find out how you can start your journey back to a full head of hair today. I can tell you firsthand, from the minute you walk in the door to the time you leave, you are treated as if you were in a 5-star hotel. And now that it's been a year since my surgery, I look back at pictures from a couple years ago. I don't even look like the same person. The procedure was an amazing success, and it has totally reframed my face. Go to hairsurgery.com and find out not only how affordable it is, but how you can get your hair back today. Visit hairsurgery.com. That's hairsurgery.com. And tell them Brandon Lang sent you.
This is Drew Diener, and you're listening to 93.9 The Ville, live from the OPC Services Studio.
This hour of Selection Monday on ESPN Louisville is presented by Delivery.com. We bring the restaurant to you. Use promo code ORDERNOW for $10 off your next order.
You know, what's the sad and disturbing and disappointing part about everything is that you really cannot be mad that the team is out of it. Like, you know, I definitely hear what you're saying, Marcus, that both sides of the coin can be right about we did get screwed out of this, which I do believe. We also left it up, you know, we gave them the opportunity to use that. So I think those are both right. And I think you're right about that. But, you know, just honestly, I'm upset that our guys aren't in there and our team's not in there. But in a normal year, like, you would look at this team and say, you know, you're not really surprised that they're not in it. Like, especially the way we came down the stretch, it just is what it is. So that being said, that gives me the point that, you know, the only way out of this, and I continue to say this, is to recruit. And yeah, like, the recruiting classes may be better. Like, Rick would have good recruiting classes, even really good recruiting classes. But if you always look, like within 2 years, usually about only half of those kids panned out. You know, we had the Super Six here with Chris Mack. You know, it's not all seeming to pan out. So, and that's okay. That's just part of the thing. That being said, you can, in college basketball, you can change it and get it turned around in one season. It can happen, and it happens often. You know, I'm not sure if, you know, I know a lot of people are big on this class. I'll be honest, I haven't kept up with recruiting as much as normal over this past year. So I have to take a lot of y'all's words on everything. But unless we have some, like, just instant impact guys coming in here that are recruits or transfers, like, Is next year really going to be better? And that remains to be seen. So there needs to be a change in the recruiting philosophy, and there needs to be change in how we approach and how this staff approaches the roster and building the roster. The roster building leaves a lot to be desired, and we need some guys in here now that can be instant impact.
Listen, Ross, I appreciate the call. I mean, listen, one player here and there makes all the difference. Like I said, if I have Muhammad Lasege, my senior year, who was eligible for a couple games, we like an entirely different team.
Right.
One player makes a huge difference. And Ross, Coach Mack would be the first to say he has to do a better job. He has to do a better job of the intensity level of like all kind of things. Like he any coach at the end of the year says, okay, if we don't, I got to do a better job at this. They look at more tape than you do. They look at more than just a game. He knows he doesn't just roll the ball out there, let him play, and whatever happens, just keep on telling the same thing. Like he knows he has to get better, and he's 50.
Yeah,
he is 50.
Yeah,
or he'll go to Indiana.
Yeah. By the way, Indiana just fired R2 Miller, so let's go get Rick Pitino. I was born in Indiana.
Already,
a lot of people don't know that. I was born in Indiana.
I was born in Carolina. Go Tar Heels. Logan, thanks for joining us on 93.9. What's on your mind?
What's up, Marcus? What's up, Steve?
What's going on, man?
Listen, this whole Mac thing, everyone's on his case. How many years have you been? What year was this?
3.
Okay, last year, COVID kicked us out. I mean, can't really do nothing about that. Kicked everybody out. This year, I mean, how many games did we win? 6, 7 games? We even win maybe half of those. We'll be in. If we beat Syracuse, we're in. I mean, people got to give Mac a chance. I mean, look what he's had to deal with in his first 3 years. So, I mean, everyone's pissed off at it, but, I mean, any coach, I'm not going to say any coach, but just it's ridiculous that people are on his ass already on this when they're going in his 3rd year. And that's that. But I got one question, well, 2. If you had a sleeper team in a tournament, who would it be? And who do y'all have winning? My sleeper team's Tennessee, and I got Illinois winning it all. So y'all keep up the good work. I'll get off.
But appreciate the call. Tennessee got a lot of talent, man.
I haven't even looked.
Not today, Steve.
Yeah, I'm not. It's going to be probably by the time it rolls around Friday or Saturday. Friday, I think it is. I might be like, all right, let's see some of this, but I'm just not in tournament talk mood.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and again, final theme.